Thank you for choosing to watch the Watchman News Headlines video. Our full episodes can now be seen over at Patreon with much more added content for just $2 a month. Link is in the description. If you cannot afford $2 a month, please consider using our Amazon affiliate link, purchasing from our Teespring store, or making a PayPal donation. All links are below. In order for us to grow, we have to make changes to enable it. Our time is valuable, and we have been one of the very few news sources actually dedicated to bringing you honest, hard-hitting, actionable news and information. Plus, for your $2 a month, you do not have to hear me blabber about these links. It's a win for us all.
Bullshit.
Thank you. Good morning, watchmen and watchwomen of YouTube. Welcome to the Watchman News Headlines video. Tonight we had an interesting topic over there on Patreon. We were talking about why many will fall after SHTF, what ability it is that they lack that will cost them likely their lives or the lives of their loved ones or their team or their tribe. Pretty important topic, and I've touched on it before on previous monologues over the years. But this is one particular area of it that I dove a little deeper on. So I would highly suggest, it's $2 a month. I would highly suggest coming on over there. There's going to be so much more content put over there. I'm going to treat that much differently than I did YouTube. So it's your call, but that's where the good stuff is. So anyway, let's do some headlines, shall we? All right. Starting out with Friday's headlines, because that's the way we roll here on Sunday nights. Horn-wearing QAnon shaman charged over Capitol riot says he's willing to testify at impeachment trial, and he feels betrayed by Trump. So we'll see how that defense works for him. I'm sure that they're probably trying to convince as many people as possible that are charged to make statements like that, just because I think they want to do what they can to try to nail Trump as far as they can. I think it's stupidity, to be honest. There's a lot more things we need to be concerned with as far as the betterment of the people in this country. I don't see how going after Trump is doing that, but whatever. Bolivia welcomes first batch of Sputnik 5 coronavirus jab ahead of vaccination campaign launch. Again, we're on Friday's news. Russia's non-energy exports topped $160 billion last year. China continues to be the main driver for oil demand in 2021. Report clears UK's largest Muslim charity of institutional anti-Semitism despite controversy over hateful posts on social media. Russian university set to resume full-time teaching as COVID-19 cases fall sharply nationwide. Let's see. The best way to repair the Russian-American relationship is for both sides to minimize contacts and keep out of each other's way. That is a pretty telling statement. China to end recognition of British overseas passport as UK opens visa program for over 5 million Hong Kongers. A common interest of Beijing and Washington outweigh their differences, says China's vice president, as tensions remain high. Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine not linked to post-jab deaths, confirms EU medicines regulator after Norway reported fatalities. And folks, we're seeing fatalities from around the world after these injections. So why can't we just have an honest world? I don't get it. A Vienna apartment building partially collapses after an apparent explosion. Again, this is Friday's news. UK refuses to publish vaccine supply data for security reasons amid delivery row with the EU. Swiss scientists announce breakthrough in 60-year-old Soviet mystery, claiming Dyatlov Pass skiers caused own deaths in the avalanche. I know that there's been a lot of controversy over this. It's going back and forth as to what people think has happened. So this is the latest on that. Tehran says Biden administration must remove crippling sanctions if they want Iran to cut enhanced enrichment program. If you're from an ethnic community in England, chances are your health will age 20 years quicker than white Brits, a new study says. Yeah. I think sometimes we waste entirely too much money on stupid studies. And I think a lot of these studies, for one, are inaccurate because they're paid to be inaccurate. And number two, they're simply done just to cause issue. Farmer brother Martin Shkreli weighs in on GameStop Robinhood saga and says he's willing to testify to Congress. Patients in Brazil were simultaneously infected with 2 coronavirus variants, says a study. A building dubbed Putin's Palace by Navalny is an empty shell, says Russian journalist in a video from the Black Sea building site. Hungary becomes first EU country to approve Chinese COVID jab as Brussels vaccine plan stutters amid row with pharma giants. Blast outside Israeli embassy in Delhi. No injuries reported, but several cars damaged. Again, this is Friday. And there wasn't a whole ton of news over the weekend, to be honest. Johnson & Johnson, 1-dose shot prevents COVID-19, but less than some others. I've saw reports of anywhere from 66% to 72% efficacy. I don't know for sure where the true target is. St. Peter's father dies in a hospital parking lot after family says hospital refused treatment. Sad article from a local news station here. Spain's pandemic-hit economy suffers steepest drop on record. Fresh clashes between Indian farmers and police break out at protest site near New Delhi. Again, Friday's news. Is trust in the free market system shot after Robinhood cut off GameStop trading? RT's boom bust digs into a Wall Street scandal. I would say, yeah, there's been a lot of trust lost here. EU publishes AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine contract. As executive chief von der Leyen claims orders are binding. COVID-19 infection rates remain largely unchanged in England despite lockdowns, ONS data shows. Robinhood CEO accused of lying on CNN after claiming he halted stock purchases to adhere to vague regulatory requirements. Russian diplomats blast outrageous claim by Lithuanian lawmaker that Jewish people themselves were responsible for the Holocaust. U.S. accusations that Moscow still has a stockpile of chemical weapons are groundless and without proof, says Russian ambassador. Majority of Russians now support nationwide vaccination against COVID-19 as opposition to government's plan shrinks, a poll reveals. Yeah, you got to trust these polls, huh? New statistics reveal that number of Russians living below poverty line jumped by 400,000 during COVID pandemic to 19.6 million. Yikes. Dutch COVID-19 track and trace system springs data leaks as potentially thousands of names, numbers, and records are stolen. South Korea's presidential office dismisses opposition reports the government planned to build nuclear plant in North Korea. Let's see, Occupy Wall Street 2.0. This time activists intend to destroy the system from within. Max Kaiser explains GameStop frenzy. And it certainly would seem so. Now they're going after Sober, it looks like, which is going to be interesting. Johnson & Johnson one-dose COVID-19 vaccine shown to be 66% effective against virus in phase 3 trials. Google deletes 100,000 plus 1-star ratings of Robinhood app after enraged retail traders pile negative reviews over GameStop ban. Is this ridiculous or what? I mean, come on. Now we can't even critique an app or a service or a business to where big tech won't just delete our critiques. I mean, where does it end? Russia's epidemic of live stream tragedies continues as another person dies on camera for entertainment of viewers. I just don't get this. Portuguese parliament approves legalization of euthanasia despite last-minute attempt to delay the vote. Italy set to announce easing of COVID-19 restrictions despite warnings from experts, says reports. Still on Friday. EU drug regulator approves AstraZeneca COVID-19 jab amid blocks ongoing spat with company over vaccine shortages. Spanish court says Catalan elections must go ahead and firing up independence debate as Spain reels from COVID-19. Let's see. Think it couldn't get any worse? China rolls out more accurate anal swabs for COVID-19 testing. And you probably heard about this by now. I wished I hadn't. If you don't have the police, things go a little crazy. Former SEC official compares GameStop buying frenzy to U.S. Capitol riot. Really? I mean, this is the height of absurdity here. It truly is. In the name of transparency, German finance ministry's PR expenses explode, doubling in 1 year and still rising amid the pandemic. Putin signs law extending New START treaty with the U.S. for 5 years. Robinhood mocked after posting listing for lobbyist in D.C. amid GameStop saga. EU to impose controls on COVID-19 vaccine exports, saying it has no choice but to act amid AstraZeneca row. Kremlin rejects suggestions that Ukraine's breakaway Donbass should be integrated into Russia. FBI lawyer who altered evidence to enable spying on Trump gets probation instead of jail. How do you like that? 8 fire brigades tackle blaze at former UK barracks housing 400 asylum seekers. And this again was Friday's stuff. Black Lives Matter movement nominated for 2021 Nobel Peace Prize by Norwegian MP. I mean, come on. Obama, right? More drone strikes than any other U.S. president in history. Got the Nobel Peace Prize. How's that even happen? Let's see. French vaccination strategy chief says EU should consider using Russian and Chinese jabs. I mean, if that's your thing, if you really want to get this, I would consider it. Stop playing games with these companies. France shuts borders to all travel, to and from non-EU countries in push to control COVID spread. Cuomo insists it doesn't matter where 4,000 hidden nursing home deaths took place. Warren accused of protecting hedge funds by saying GameStop surge helps no one and demanding SEC action. I mean, this is ridiculous. Let's see. Texas Attorney General calls out Robinhood, Discord, Citadel, and others over GameStop stock throttling. Robinhood imposes 1 share buy limit on dozens of stocks amid GameStop scrutiny. I mean, if this isn't manipulation, then what is? I mean, to me, this is very clear manipulation. Let's see. U.S. stocks take beating as Dow sheds 620 points, and Reddit rebellion continues to drive massive surge in GameStop shares. U.S. Navy berates destabilizing Chinese activity as pro-NATO Atlantic Council publishes blueprint for Cold War with Beijing. Telling you, it's coming. EU aborts plan to restrict vaccine exports through Northern Ireland after drawing scorn from London and Dublin. 11 U.S. Army troops hospitalized after drinking antifreeze during a field exercise, mistaking it for booze. All right, now we're to Saturday's news. Chinese tech giant Xiaomi, and I always get there, it's actually Xiaomi, I think, or something. I think it's Xiaomi, pronounced that way. Anyway, they sue the Pentagon and U.S. Treasury, demanding removal from blacklists, linking it to Beijing's military. A GameStop investor clash will be won by Wall Street sharks because the game is rigged, says analysts. And I agree. I doubt anything's really going to come of it. U.S. imposes federal mask mandate on all forms of public transportation from February 1st. Russian LNG production sees modest jump in 2020. Billionaire and Mets owner Steve Cohen off Twitter after he helped GameStop ravaged protege branded Redditor investors jockeys. Unknown, unheard of group claims responsibility for blast near Israeli mission in India. Police attempt to verify the claims, say the media. No open schools to give relief to British parents, but PM Johnson says he is in awe of them as he rides his bike. India expects V-shaped recovery amid massive COVID-19 vaccination drive. UK ex-secretary for Northern Ireland slams EU for attempt to block vaccine flow. Still on Saturday's news. Let's see. WHO urges UK to help foreign states with COVID-19 vaccine before continuing immunization at home. I'm the beneficiary, Russian billionaire Rotenberg says about Putin's palace posh resort. French police bust giant orgy inside of a warehouse, fine 90-plus people for breaking COVID-19 curfew, says the media. Well, okay then. Drone swarms are getting too fast for humans to fight, a U.S. general warns. That is, well, I mean, that's kind of old information, actually, but I think there's more to this than what they're willing to really discuss. And again, with the heightened tensions with other nations, it's going to get interesting. That's for sure. A Nord Stream 2 pipeline to ensure security of generations to come, says an ex-German chancellor. India condemns beheading of Gandhi statue in California. Riot police crack down on anti-global security bill protesters in Paris. Again, this is Saturday. Austrian police officer discovered dozens of foreign revelers flouting lockdown to get to top ski resort. Robin Hood's investing for everyone approach drew millions of customers. Now it faces a revolt. Pretty good article about what went on. Torturing the English language, Biden accused of twisting the truth with promise his COVID-19 stimulus plan finishes the job. Hadn't even gotten it started yet. Publix grocery chain faces boycotts after report claims heiress funded Trump Capitol rally with Alex Jones. U.S. shows off nuclear-capable B-52 bombers on Iran's doorstep a week after Biden's inauguration. A lot of people were trying to fearmonger and to believing that Biden was going to be a lapdog for Iran. Man, Biden is a warmonger. And there are so many things that play into this. So many things. I do not think you are going to see a backing off of Iran. I do not believe you're going to see that. Pentagon halts plan to give COVID-19 vaccination to Gitmo detainees after a wave of outrage from conservatives. Creating conditions for lasting peace, a joint Russian-Turkish peace monitoring center starts work in disputed Nagorno-Karabakh. Reddit users in the U.S. and Canada plagued by outages in service amidst Wall Street bets stock frenzy. Robinhood contributions to House Financial Service Panel leaders under increased scrutiny as hearing over GameStop saga announced. Trump loses lead impeachment lawyers a week before the trial. U.S. largest vaccination site in L.A. briefly shut down amid protest against COVID-19 immunization campaign. All right, now we're to stuff I shared out today. I told you, yesterday there wasn't a whole lot of headlines, and today it's been kind of eerily silent, to be honest. India's cinemas get green light to go back to 100% capacity as Bollywood reels from COVID-19 restrictions. Tunisia approves Russian-made Sputnik V coronavirus vaccine and plans to start immunization in the coming months. UK wants to join $12 trillion Asia-Pacific trade deal after leaving the EU. Small-scale protests in Russia's Far East and larger gatherings in Siberia begin day of pro-Alexei Navalny demonstrations. Massachusetts congressman tests positive for COVID-19 after getting 2 shots of the Pfizer vaccine. 100-plus people detained in Moscow as police try to break up unsanctioned protest by supporters of jailed Alexei Navalny. WHO's COVID-19 fact-finding mission visits ill-fated animal market in Wuhan. Bitcoin out, digital rupee in. India cracks down on private cryptocurrencies while seeking to launch its own digital coin. UK Trade Minister says EU has reassured jabs will not be stopped at the border. China building digital Silk Road stretching from Asia through Africa to Europe. Navalny associates accused of treason by prominent Moscow senator after lobbying Biden for more U.S. sanctions against Russia. For second week running, wife of jailed opposition figure Alexei Navalny detained at unsanctioned protest in Moscow. Anti-lockdown protesters staged torchlit march in Denmark. Russian policeman draws gun as pro-Navalny protesters clash with officers on the streets of St. Petersburg. Israel to send 5,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine to Palestinians, overturning its much-criticized refusal. Now, I don't know about you, but something reeks of smallpox blankets. I don't know. Russia expects oil between $45 and $80 a barrel by 2035. Huge queues pack stores and empty shelves after Australian city announces a 5-day COVID lockdown over a single confirmed case. Wall Street bets coin listed atop Bitcoin. A battle between GameStop investors and Wall Street rages on. Man sets himself on fire on busy Moscow street in shocking video shared by Russian social media users. Pardon me. Major blast rocks Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, gunfire reported. Thousands of Orthodox Jews violate lockdown to attend funeral of prominent rabbi killed by the coronavirus. New York charity Robinhood receives undue flack from people angry at Robinhood trading app, but finds silver lining in new supporters. 10 Republicans praise Biden's call for unity and want to work in good faith on new COVID-19 relief bill. Folks, when it comes to helping the American people, that's what they should be focused on, not impeaching Trump and all the other nonsense. I mean, come on. Regretful Democrat volunteers cope with disappointment after Biden turns out... Biden turns out to have misled about the $2,000 checks. Clashes and arrests as thousands face off with riot police at protest against COVID-19 lockdown in Vienna. More detentions and clashes with police as second consecutive weekend of pro-Navalny rallies across Russia attract smaller crowds. Israeli minister's order to postpone vaccination of Palestinian prisoners was illegal, a high court rules. Anti-Trump Lincoln Project turns on Predator co-founder as turns on Predator co-founder as he's accused of harassing 21 men and offering jobs for sex. Troops to remain in Afghanistan past Trump set deadline, says a report. I really hope you're not surprised by this. And I hope you don't think that this is just a Biden thing, because all this bringing troops home was a bunch of crap to begin with. That's just a fact. Let's see. Man in a Batman suit arrested at unsanctioned rally in Moscow. France and Germany threaten AstraZeneca with legal action if they favored UK over EU when distributing COVID-19 vaccine. Hashtag Biden lied tops Twitter trends as president loyalists try to hijack hashtag to switch conversation from disappointment to Trump. Melvin Capital loses 53% in January over bet against GameStop thanks to Reddit buying spree, says reports. Let's see. Myanmar's leader Aung San Suu Kyi and senior officials detained amid fears of military coup, says reports. And these next two were breaking when I was starting here. Myanmar state TV goes off air over communication problems, phone and internet services limited amid apparent coup. And Myanmar military says it takes charge of country for 1 year, declaring state of emergency over alleged election fraud. Seems like there's other countries that have issues like that, like a lot of them here lately. Isn't that amazing? All the countries that are having such issues with elections. It's not just us. There's a lot of nations. So, anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the night. I am going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody coming. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. And don't know why y'all are waiting to hop over there on Patreon. By the time you hear this, it'll be the 1st, so you'll be on a fresh month. So, no better time than that. So, hope everybody has a good evening. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.